Time now for my royal masterminds, Lady Colin Campbell, and tonight, Richard Fitzwilliams. And breaking tonight, a YouGov poll has revealed Meghan Markle's approval rating has fallen to a record low of, wait for it, minus 47. This tops off a week from hell for the runaway royals as their multi-million-dollar Spotify deal was ripped up with Bill Simmons, an exec at the streaming giant, one of many famous faces stateside, to take them on.
Wish I'd been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation. The fucking grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them.
I think Harry's a like, my life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope?
Ladies and gentlemen, I can do 12 episodes in my sleep. 12 episodes? $20 million?
Oh, brutal. And Lady C, the fashion house Dior have also distanced themselves now from Meghan, denying rumours of a contract negotiation going on at all. So it does really feel like the Sussex's brand is in free fall. But what do you make of this YouGov poll? Because it shows that they are just getting more and more unpopular, because Harry's in negative territory big time too.
Well, I didn't realise they were quite as popular as they still are. I mean, I would have thought it was 220% minus. So it's very well deserved. They have earned it and they're going to get it, and they're getting it. I think it shows, you know, as the Jamaicans say, when you spit in the sky, it might fall in your eye. And it's certainly fallen in their eye.
What's so interesting, Lady C, is it feels like this week the floodgates have opened in terms of people in Hollywood, big American names, are finally realising, actually, we can be honest about what we feel about Harry and Meghan.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, Dan, I've been speaking to people in Hollywood and they confirm what you said the other evening. Netflix is getting ready to give them the old heave-ho. Poor darlings. Doesn't your heart break for them?
Oh, I'm weeping.
Richard, nice to see you.
Richard, are you hearing the same thing, that this Netflix deal could be the next one to go?
Well, this is the thing. Firstly, let me welcome the results of this poll. They've deserved it. They've earned it. As Georgie said, the facts are that they never cared very much about how they were regarded in Britain, and this clearly shows they're not. I'd like to see a further poll regarding the ratings in America. 2 Newsweek polls had them at abominable levels earlier in the year, and then the most recent YouGov poll I saw had a more balanced picture. So far as Netflix are concerned, I think a lot rests on this, because they've lost Spotify, they can't trademark archetypes, and if they were to lose Netflix, and that's $100 million, then that really would be absolutely seismic. But I think they're going to make a fight back, you see, and the other problem is, if they have it rough and hard, a lot of people would take a great deal of delight in seeing them torn down, because look at the way they've built each other up, or built themselves up. It's been ruthless. But here's the problem. Will that make life easier for the royal family, or will they, for example, look at the Random House contract, which they've still got? Meghan could write a memoir. Harry could take the 400 pages he didn't use in Spotify, or he could write a book about his early childhood. So there are all sorts of things, as one welcomes certain results which are richly deserved, that could go very wrong for others. And, of course, we wonder how Harry's court cases are going to go.
The problem is, Lady C, they're stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place, though, aren't they? Because their popularity is dropping because of their continued attacks on the royal family. Even the Americans don't like that anymore. However, if they want to make this, which is all they care about, they're going to have to keep unleashing those attacks. In Meghan's book, for example.
Well, I think the only thing people are interested in is what they have to say about the royal family, whether it's negative or positive. I don't think anybody's interested in anything else they have to say. Neither of them has very much of a brain, and neither of them really has anything to contribute to the edification of people. And, you know, they're both boring. I mean, everybody has an appetite for scandal and gossip, and they might not like it, but they still want to hear it. But I mean, do we want to hear Meghan pontificating about how wonderful she is, one act of cruelty at a time? I don't think so.
No, thank you. And wasn't Trevor Phillips just completely right, by the way, Lady C, to say, actually, we never had a problem with her because of her race. You know, she was embraced in Britain. It was nothing to do with the colour of her skin.
Well, isn't it wonderful? I have to say, Trevor Phillips is a capital guy. He's so good and he's so measured. He's a great friend of a great friend of mine. And, you know, it's nice to hear somebody who was the head of the Equalities Commission calling her out as being the fraud that she is. I mean, when you stop to think of the mischief that she has created, not only in terms of ruining the deaths of the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen, but ruining all sorts of things in the Commonwealth. I mean, being Jamaican, I know that her conduct was directly responsible for the failure of the Wales' tour of Jamaica.
Yes, it was, but she loved that. She loved that. She thought that was a result, you know, and you're right, it did, it destroyed it. But look, back in Britain, the Wales' eldest son, Prince George, heir to the throne, has been spotted today on a visit to a rather well-known school. Seen in line to the throne, George, who turns 10 next month, visited Eton, indicating that he's likely to follow in his father's footsteps in attending the illustrious public school. Richard, do you think it's inevitable that the royal family will follow this familiar tradition, or should Wills and Kate perhaps be looking to freshen things up?
Well, I think the problem here has always been to board or not to board. And I think William and Catherine will be very, very sensitive on this, depending on the various characteristics of, obviously, George as future king, but also, obviously, Charlotte and Louis. How would they each individually respond to a boarding school? Would this be an environment that they'd like? And I think that is the driving force here. The fact that, of course, we know William and also Harry, we know well, went to Eton. I mean,
oh yeah, we've heard all about that, haven't we? Lady C, do you think George will end up at Eton?
I think there's a very good chance. I mean, there are many really good reasons for being at Eton. It's very near to Windsor, you know, so that's a great convenience for anybody who has a connection to the royal family. And it's a very good school, and he is academically gifted enough that he will do well at Eton. And, you know, as a future king, Eton is one of the best schools in the world.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
as you say,
can get a better education.
Yeah, and as you say, it's so close to Windsor that he could be popping back and forth very easily. So, Lady Colin Campbell, Richard Fitzwilliams, great to have you with us, Richard.